This is Congressman Denny Rehberg from Montana, our U.S. representative, and he's just going to explain his vote for the AIG executives to tax their bonuses 90%.
You bet. What we attempted to do was come up with an alternative, and Nancy Pelosi did not allow us that opportunity. We tried to talk a number of our Republican colleagues into helping us defeat the suspension bill. That was not successful as well, and so it ultimately came down to the fact that are you going to try and get 90% of the money back or nothing? We were giving no other vote. My attitude is we shouldn't have done the bailout in the first place, and we have to remember that the reason that this was caused in the first place was the bank bailout. And so ultimately the bad votes were the bank bailout, and ultimately the bad votes were the stimulus that never should have passed in the first place. Within the stimulus bill, the amendment was put into the bill to require the bonuses to be paid. And I disagree with that. And so ultimately we only had one choice to try and get 90% of it back or none. And 90% is better than none.
Senator Dodd left that loophole in. Do you feel that he tried to close that enough, or do you think he left that too wide open?
I think Chris Dodd knew exactly what he was doing. That was my point after the vote was taken. I said there was not enough time to read the bill, and people will rue the day when they find out the kinds of things that were in the bill. I was argued with, including my own members of the Senate, said I was wrong. And I think if you pick up the Flathead Beacon and see their article that they wrote last Wednesday, they will suggest that I was in fact right, that not enough time was put into it. Nobody knew what was in that bill. And again, they are ruining the day that they passed that stimulus. It was not an economic stimulus bill anyhow. 12 cents on the dollar goes to something that might be able to be defined as stimulus. The other 88 cents on the dollar was increased social spending. Ron and I had a conversation. I eat lunch with Ron every Thursday, and we had a conversation about this very issue last Thursday at noon.
You do realize that Ron Paul did not vote for the 90% tax, and he felt it was unconstitutional regarding the bill of attainder.
Well, and we debated that issue as well. Let's hope it is unconstitutional. Let's hope that it doesn't make it through the Senate. And again, as I suggested, we were not given an alternative. We were not given an opportunity to vote for something else. So it's kind of one of those things that you have to decide which way to go on it. And ultimately, I made the determination, since we were not going to be given the ability to undo the stimulus, which shouldn't have passed, to undo the bailouts, which shouldn't have passed, and to get them not to pay the bonuses, and trying to get 90% was better than zero.